All right, folks, this is a Oklahoma weather alert right around 11:15 here now on this late Monday evening, and William Cole here live at the Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. And we've been tracking severe weather across Oklahoma now for quite a while. In fact, a lot of severe weather earlier today out in the Texas Panhandle. Moving into northwestern Oklahoma, we were tracking really tornadic supercells up across that part of the state. The tornadic weather has now left Oklahoma. It's moved up into parts of Kansas. So again, tornado watch does continue for Oklahoma across parts of north central, western, even right here into central Oklahoma. The counties you see in green there, officially tornado watch does continue until 3 o'clock in the morning. However, the severe weather risk now is turning into more of a linear or a line type risk. And again, anytime you hear a line of storms, the main thing that goes into your head, of course, is wind. And it looks like we do have the opportunity for a fairly high wind event across Oklahoma now heading into the overnight period. We do continue with severe thunderstorm warnings until 11:15 this evening for Ouachita and Custer counties, but otherwise we do have a lot of heavy thunderstorms around the state. Let's go and zoom the radar in here. And first of all, let's go up into parts of northwestern Oklahoma. And as we get that radar pulled up, we're going to take a look up there. And that's also where our Phillip Mcgee still is. And again, these storms up here, again, these aren't severe, but they are heavy. And again, really on the southern sides of Harper County, down through the Woodward area. Again, that's where Phillip Mcgee is. Again, right there, there's his live GPS. He's just there on the northern sides of Woodward. And again, really this line of storms does continue, again, all the way down through, again, really Custer and Ouachita County. Again, down here, that's where that severe thunderstorm warning is. But again, even these storms through here, again, still quite heavy. Again, all you see all the frequent cloud of ground lightning. That's all those little white bolts there. So again, frequent cloud of ground lightning. And even in the areas that aren't severe, again, wind gusts at least approaching 60 miles per hour would definitely be possible. And again, that's what Phillip Mcgee is even seeing up there in Woodward. Again, he's had some fairly strong wind gusts here over the last 15 minutes. And Phillip, hey, you're on the live line with us. Let me go and pull up your stream here. Tell us what you're seeing up there around the Woodward area this evening.
Okay, William. Yeah, we pulled off of that storm that passed over into Kansas. That was that tornadic supercell. And we made our way down Highway 183. We got here just outside of Woodward, and we got into some really, really heavy winds. I would say probably upwards of the 60 mile per hour range. And there's a lot of serious cloud-to-ground lightning still associated with these storms as we're continuing our journey back to the Oklahoma City area. And so we wanted to be able to bring that to the folks that are up in this viewing area, just you know, to let them know that these are not severe storms or severe warning storms. However, they are heavy. They're putting down a lot of rain. There might be some intermittent pea-sized hail along with these as we're driving. We've kind of went through a couple of those little bands. But that's about it for right now. Main threat is the cloud-to-ground lightning and the high winds. We had made comment earlier as far as high-profile vehicles, and people that are familiar with this area, Highway 183 kind of runs at a diagonal up toward Fort Supply, and so anything that's going to be like a semi or maybe a mobile home or a trailer or something like that potentially can have some difficulties while they're out driving, and the fact that the roads are starting to pond up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like you're in some fairly heavy rain there, Phillip. So you're right there around the Woodward area. And again, lots of frequent cloud of ground lightning. Again, that's what we're seeing there on Mesoscan radar as well. But again, just by watching your shot there over the last 2 minutes, again, very, very frequent cloud of ground lightning. And Phillip's absolutely right on that. Again, this evening, these storms are so electrically active. This lightning is really a real threat moving across Oklahoma, along with the heavy rain. And then also, again, at least the potential for, again, some fairly high velocity winds out there, potentially anywhere from 60 up to 70 miles per hour plus. Now, the severe thunderstorm warning there for Ouachita and Custer County, it did just expire. So now officially no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Oklahoma. But again, that tornado watch does continue really until, again, 3 a.m. in the morning. So we'll continue to monitor that. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, even though the risk of tornadoes is going to be fairly low here in Oklahoma, anytime you get these long lines of storms with the potential for some high velocity winds, the one thing you have to keep in mind, sometimes you'll get a little spin up along the leading edge. So with that tornado watch, in fact, it's still in effect. Again, the one thing we're watching for, just those small little spin-ups, especially along the leading edge of these storms. Now, Phillip, you were really all across parts of the Texas Panhandle today, even across parts of northwestern Oklahoma. I know you're starting to head back to the Oklahoma City metro now, but kind of tell us what all you saw this afternoon. You had quite a busy day across, again, the Texas Panhandle and northwestern Oklahoma.
That's absolutely right, William. We left, I believe it was around 2 o'clock, and headed out west on I-40. We got to the Eric and Sayer area where these storms, believe it or not, earlier had already gone severe. They hadn't gone tornadic at that point. But as we progressed west towards the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, or border, I should say, there's a power flash just now. There was a power flash just in front of us.
It could be
over to the left side.
Yeah, you still have the opportunity for some high velocity winds up there. Even though these storms aren't severe, again, anytime you get that line of storms, again, you can get that Boeing effect or that surging straight line wind. And again, like I mentioned, winds up to 60. And I think was that another power flash there, Phillip? Or was that just the delayed stream? Did we just now see it there?
I think it's probably just a delayed stream, but it definitely lit the sky up for sure.
It did. I don't know if that was a lightning strike or maybe that was a little bit of surging straight line wind there. But yeah, we definitely saw that. It was just delayed there.
There's more power flashes right now. More power flashes.
Well, let's continue with that stream live, and let's go back to radar here just real quick again.
Go up there. We're gonna
These storms aren't severe, but again, some
here.
surging bow line winds, straight line winds are possible. Let's
more
go.
Power flashes. More power flashes.
Okay, let's stay with that.
More power flashes.
I see it. Big. Yeah, those are big power flashes. Okay, let's go to radar. Let's switch to a different radar source. And folks, this is what we're talking about. Sometimes you can get these little spin-ups. Phillip, I'm switching to velocities. Still continue to monitor your stream there. And how far south are you, Phillip, on 183 there? Are you down by Mutual?
No, absolutely not. We're in Woodward proper, and those power flashes were just to the northeast of. Well, let me get my GPS running.
We saw them live.
Running again.
It's
running now. We're on 180. Excuse me. Let me get my directions here real fast, and then I'll get right back with you.
Absolutely. So Phillip, again, we just saw those power flashes. Again, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings in effect. Again, we'll go back over to radar. We'll take a look at it. The one thing to keep in mind, folks, again, when we do have these line segments of storms, you can have straight line winds that do come up extremely fast. That could have been what we just saw there. But again, you saw it live on Phillip's stream.
More power flashes, William. More power flashes.
I see that. And, you've got to let me know what direction they're coming from. As we take a look at live velocities here, let's go over to velocities just real quick. Again, we're scanning this here where Phillip is here around Woodward. We're looking for any kind of circulation, any kind of shear. Now, we're not seeing that around here, but Phillip, again, you just kind of got to let me know where you are. We might see a little bit of surging winds here. We got a little bit of bright green, and again, that's going to be really on the eastern sides of 183, Phillip. But again, kind of tell me where you are. The one other thing we got to keep in mind, again, the reason that tornado watch is still in effect, you can get those little spin up, those little eddies, and again, that could be a real potential thing too. In fact, we got a little something maybe right there. It could be a little eddy. That's different than a tornado, but again, it can be a little wind spin up. Phillip, go and tell me which way you're looking. Phillip, are you still on the live line there with us?
Yeah, I'm here, William. We're on 412 looking east. We're fixing to turn north on Highway 34. It has been nothing but continuous power flashes to the north of Woodward, Oklahoma.
Okay, so hold on. Hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there. Okay, so did you say you're on 34 looking to the north?
We're at the intersection of 412 and 34 right now looking to the north. We're fixing to get on 34 and head north out of Woodward.
Okay, if you were looking off to the east, we have maybe a little spin right here, crossing 412 on the eastern sides of Woodward. This isn't a tornado, folks. It's not a tornado, but there's a little spin right there, and it could be one of these little eddy spin-ups. Let's put on reflectivity, and again, right there, You know, it's not really on the leading edge of this line though either. It's really not on the leading edge. It's right there across 412, maybe a little bit of a hill core right there. It's right on 412, but we are getting a little bit of shear there, so we don't think that's a tornado. And it's really not along the leading edge of that storm either. But again, we are getting the small little area of shear right there. And again, like I mentioned, sometimes on the leading edge of these lines, you can get those little spin-up eddies. That probably wouldn't be that type of situation there. But Philip, I see your GPS location. Are you sure you're not looking off to the southeast? Were you looking off to the southeast by any chance? So there's Philip's live GPS location. He's right there at the junction.
Absolutely not. We were looking to the northeast as the power flashes started to happen, and now we're headed straight north on 34.
You know, there was this little, Philip, there was this little area of shear right there on the southern sides of 412, and then it lifted to the north. It lifted right over 412, and maybe that's what you were seeing right there. We still see it, a little small pocket of shear. It could be a little spin, but we saw those power flashes. Have you seen any more power flashes? I mean, those were fairly big power flashes. That was about 5 power flashes that we saw live on your stream.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's actually, I'm not sure if they're actually storm trackers or if they're emergency vehicles or what they are. Hold on, there's debris in the middle of the road. Storm Tracker 9 is here.
You know, I'll be honest, Philip, that is kind of on the leading edge. Let's look at reflectivity. So we got to kind of analyze this. It's nighttime. Sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly what's going on. But right here, so that would kind of be right there along the leading edge. And I think we maybe had a little bit of a spin up. That's a spinning eddy. And basically the reason why that tornado watch is in effect still, even for central Oklahoma, when you get these bow line segments, even though this isn't even a severe line of storms, you can get those spin ups along it. And you saw that little area of shear, that red going to green, very small, compact area, and I think that's what just crossed 412. And we just saw the power flashes, 5 live power flashes with Phillip Mcgee right there. But I think we just had a little spin up right there along the leading edge. Philip, back to you. Let me go back to your stream. Do you
There's
have
more
damage?
power flashes right next to us. Next to us.
Yes, we see it. There it is. There it is. Philip, that's a spinning eddy. We've got a spinning eddy. We've got it live. It's going to be just to your northeast. It's just to your northeast. I've got it on radar. I've locked it in on radar. Here it is. This is it right here, folks. This is what Philip's seeing. It's a spinning eddy. It's right there. It's right there along the leading edge of that storm. It's spun up. I've locked it in on radar. It's that hot green going to red. It's right there. Let's go back to your stream. You've still got power flashes.
Spinning eddy.
Tell us where you are in Woodward right now, Philip. Tell us where you are.
Okay, we're crossing over North Canadian River right now. We're going to head back into Woodward because that's where all of the power flashes are happening at now.
That's a spinning eddy, and that's exactly why that tornado watch is still in effect. It's not for big tornadoes, but it's for spin-ups along the leading edge. Let's go back to velocities just real quick. We're going to get back to your stream here in a second, but there it is. We saw it a second ago. It was on the southern sides of 412. It crossed over 412, a small, compact area of low-level spin. It all has to do with some surging outflow from these storms. Okay, let's go back to your stream. Let's go back to your stream. Philip's stream is about 30 seconds delayed, so we should see the power flashes that he just saw. That's it, folks. There's a spinning eddy on the ground, really on the eastern sides of Woodward. This isn't a big tornado. It's a spinning eddy, though, and we've got it live right now. So, Philip, we're still waiting for that power flash. There it is. There it is. That was a big one, too. That's one of the largest power flashes we've seen now. Yeah, so that's a spinning eddy. Philip, I'm going to break from your stream real quick. Let's go back over here to velocities. I'm just going to back this up just a couple frames. And again, you can see it develop right there on the southern sides of 412. Okay, so here it is. There it is right there. Okay, so that's about 10 minutes ago. Watch as I advance this. It's going to cross to the north right over 412. Let me just put this into motion, move it forward. And again, there you see it there now on the northeastern sides of Woodward. That's not a tornado. But again, it's an area of spin with surging outflow, and it's called a spinning eddy. And again, it looks like it's blowing out some transformers there in Woodward. Philip, back to you. You're live there in Woodward.
Okay. Yeah, we came back into Woodward Metro. We see more emergency vehicles. We're trying to head to that direction right now to see actually what they're looking at, and then we're going to try and go back east on 412.
Yep, it's going to be, I can tell you exactly where it crossed. It literally crossed just on the eastern sides of Woodward. We're going to stay with your stream. I still see it. It's still there. It's still there. It's an area of spin just to the north of 412. It's not a tornado. It's a spinning eddy. It's surging spin on the outflow from these storms. And let's go. Was that another power flash or was that lightning?
You know, I'm not for sure. I seen the same thing. I didn't catch it. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, though. So I don't know if it's an actual another area of spin that has developed here in Woodward. If we see something else here in just the near future, we'll give you right back
Phillip,
with you.
stay on that. Stay on that. It's north of Woodward, and I tell you what, I'm looking at velocities. I'm looking up through the atmosphere at velocities. We've got a little area of spin there. And that could be maybe a little bit more now than a spinning eddy. So just looking up through the column, we have a little bit of mid-level spin there as well. And in fact, we may even have just a little bit of an inflow notch. So this could be more than a bit of a spinning eddy. This could be a very weak, okay, like F0 type tornado that we're seeing live right here. So officially no severe thunderstorm warning in effect, no tornado warning in effect. But again, we are getting some kind of spin, some type of shear. We're seeing it live here. We've had multiple power flashes. Phillip Mcgee live on the scene here. We're getting some shear on the radar, just a little bit of spin, but that small area of spin is actually enhancing up through the column. That means just above the surface there's spin there as well. So normally when you get a spinning eddy, that has to do with surging outflow in a storm. As the storm pumps air out, it kind of starts to spin at the lower levels. This may be a little bit taller up. So again, this could be more than a spinning eddy. Phillip, go ahead and bring us back up to date. Tell us what you're seeing right there live in Woodward.
Okay, we're headed east on 412. I'm going to ask you for just a little bit of guidance because for some reason our radar isn't updating. So if you could, you said that the area of circulation is just a little bit to the north of 412 headed east, correct?
That ball of spin, it's now to the north of 412. So this is a dynamic situation, folks. This is what happens, again, when you get, days like today. It's fairly dynamic out there. And again, keep in mind, this is not a large tornado. We're not dealing with that at all. But we may have a spinning eddy, which could have to do with surging outflow, or this could be a little bit more. So the velocity presentations here, it's not really showing anything that we think would be a tornado. Now, we've had about 6 power flashes. We don't really think we're getting a lot of surging outflow from these storms, but we're getting maybe just a small ball of spin. And the funny thing about it is it started on the southern sides of 412 and it's now lifted to the north and to the east of Woodward. But this is it up in here. This is still the ball of spin right up in here. Phillip Mcgee, you're still live there. Tell us what you're seeing.
Okay, William, I'm not exactly sure. We're headed east on 412. We're just outside east of Woodward. There was a lightning bolt that just hit, but back behind it, it looked like that there possibly was another power flash. And so now we're talking about, we're out of the Woodward metro area, and now we're getting back out into the rural farm community. But we're looking back to the north as we're driving down 412. Again,
That's how dynamic this stuff is. Sometimes when you get those spinning eddies, if that's what it was, again, a spinning eddy can have to do with surging outflow from a storm, a little spin up along it. But again, we just had about 6 power flashes. This is the problem, again, with nighttime storms. A lot of times you don't know exactly what's going on. You can't really see. Probably not a tornado. There is an opportunity, though. There was a little bit of spin, a little bit of shear there. So again, we're not totally sure what it is. It could have been a spinning eddy, but whatever it was, the wind velocity was strong enough, again, to blow some transformers. Again, we just had about 6 transformers blow there on the eastern sides of Woodward as Phillip Mcgee was driving through. So again, right now, it's kind of a judgment call. It could have been a spinning eddy, or again, it could have been just a little something else that spun up there as well. Either way, again, for the most part on the weak side, but we did lock onto it. I locked onto it with velocities on radar, and we tracked it right over 412. Whatever it was a small ball of spin. A small ball of spin. So, Phillip, go ahead and tell us what you're seeing now. Any more power flashes?
Okay, no, we're not seeing any more power flashes. It's gone back to the cloud-to-ground lightning right now. And so we're still looking, and I don't know if, like I said, if our radar has actually updated. We're still seeing some of that spin that you're talking about on one of the other systems that we use to try to track the velocities on these storms. And so I don't know, if you can concur that or not, but that's what we're seeing right now. And we're looking basically due north off of Highway 412, headed east towards Moreland.
Yeah, it's still kind of there. It's one of those hard judgment calls to make. Let's go and switch back over to radar. We're going to break from Phillip's stream there just a second. I'm going to go back to radar. And again, just to kind of let everybody know, so again, we just had 6 power flashes. We had 6 power flashes over about maybe a minute and a half time frame, okay? So we just caught them live. Phillip Mcgee saw them live, really there on the eastern sides of Woodward. So a lot of times when you get these storms, again, when they form a line, they surge with outflow, meaning they basically push air out in front of them. The reason we still have a tornado watch in effect for tonight, it's because that air basically moves out from those storms, you can get small little spin-ups along them. You could argue maybe it's like a very weak EF0 type tornado, but generally just call them spinning eddies right there along the leading edge. And again, that was a potential thing that we've been tracking throughout the day. That maybe is what just happened up there and on the eastern sides of Woodward. Something happened. There was some type of velocity event up there that again blew out those transformers, 6 of them, over about the last minute and a half. Let me show you velocities here real quick. Let me show you what we locked onto here on radar. Again, not saying this is a tornado, definitely not saying this is a big tornado, nothing like that. But there's still something there. But let me back you up in time just by about 10 minutes. Let's go back by about 10 minutes. So here's radar about 10 minutes ago. Phillip Mcgee, he was right about here. He was basically just on the eastern side, or on the southern sides of Woodward, rather. And we have this little small ball of spin, right? So not really a tornado, nothing like that, but again, maybe some surging outflow, maybe some spin along it. That's what I would probably tend to believe, right? Did you say more power flashes?
Back in Woodward.
Say that again?
There are more power flashes back in the city of Woodward. Let's
go back to Phillip's stream. So we've still got power flashes in the city of Woodward. So let's put velocities back here in live mode.
I'm not sure if it's not just collateral from what happened earlier or not. We're actually going to head back into Woodward and take another trip back up that way and see if we can see if there's any down tree limbs or trees that are laying on the transformers or whatever.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think.
In order to
here's what I think.
To be causing all this.
Probably if you're seeing any power flashes now, it may have something to do with what happened earlier. So this is the leading edge of those storms. As they moved through Woodward earlier, again, there was probably some surging outflow. And again, like I mentioned, there was a little ball of spin right there at the base. So I think that's what happened. There was some little high velocity event that happened there and again, blew out those transformers. Not saying it's a tornado, but again, probably a spinning eddy right there along that line. We were just really lucky to, again, catch those 6 power flashes, again, as that little spinning eddy moved right across 412 there. I don't think, honestly, right now, especially from what I'm seeing in velocities, that there's any other high velocity winds going through Enid right now. I think it's out here along this leading edge. I think that could still be quite possible as this continues to track off to the northeast. But Phillip, you're there. You're still live. I mean, we still got your stream. Go ahead and walk us through again what you're still seeing right now.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, William. We're on 412 now. We're headed back west. Since we've been talking to you in the last 2 minutes, there's been 2 more flashes. Again, and I agree with you, it's probably collateral from what happened earlier. We drove around a little bit to see if we could see any damage or anything like that. But as we're driving back in, and we're only just a couple of miles outside of the actual town of Woodward, but the winds have really, really picked up again. We're not seeing, that there's any super high velocity winds either, but I would say that these things are probably pushing 45, maybe 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Now, I do want to pass this along real quick. We do have a couple brand new severe thunderstorm warnings coming into effect. Phillip, we're gonna get right back to your deal there in just 1 second. But now on the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, Canadian, Kingfisher, Blaine, Caddo, even Washita, and let's see, Custer County. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:15. Let me show this real quick, Phillip. We're going to get right back to your stream. I just want to let the folks know here in central Oklahoma, again, about this new severe thunderstorm warning. Let me just switch the radar around here real quick. And as I do that, let's just punch this one here up. And again, this is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. And again, right here, this is until 12:15. Again, this is for this bow line right here. And again, folks, the main thing you're going to hear us mention here as we go through the overnight period, it's going to be bow line and high velocity winds. Again, where this area is bowing out, again, that's where we have the opportunity for some high velocity winds. Also, maybe a little bit of spin along that as well. Not tornadoes, but little spinning eddies along the leading edge of it. Maybe what Phillip just saw up there in Woodward. And again, wind gusts near 70 or over 70 miles per hour, definitely possible along this bowing line here and there, especially right there in that severe thunderstorm warning right there. But again, this activity, again, very quickly tracking off to the northeast at nearly 50 miles per hour. But again, Phillip, that was fairly impressive up there in Woodward. I mean, that kind of caught us all kind of by surprise as, again, again, we had about 4, 5, 6 power flashes all within about a minute's worth of time. But again, I still think it was probably a spinning eddy. We kind of locked onto it there with the velocities, just some high velocity wind spin as those line of storms moved through the Woodward area.
Yeah, absolutely, William. And that just goes to prove a point. You lived here long enough and you have a tendency to kind of put your guard down a little bit. But just that instant right there goes to prove that, anything is possible.
You're absolutely right on that. And quick question for you. When you drove back through there, did you happen to see any kind of damage or anything like that at all?
We're just now getting back into Woodward itself.
Are you?
We're going to take and turn right up here on Highway 34 and head back up towards the North Canadian Bridge, which leads out north of town a little bit. But as we drove through earlier, we didn't see anything, any power poles or anything like that laying on the ground. And so we're going to take a little bit better look at it this time. And see what we can see. And if we see anything, power lines or rooftops or anything like that that might be missing or laying on the road or whatever, we'll definitely break right back into the update and let you know that.
We're going to check right back in with you then, Phillip.
Basically all of the north side of Woodward, the power is completely out now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, I mean, with those 6 power flashes, I'm absolutely not surprised. So, again, it could have been straight line winds as well. But again, just for the fact we had that small ball of spin there on velocities, I have a feeling it was probably a spinning eddy that really went right through the eastern sides of Woodward. Again, it's really not a tornado, but it is just an area of spin along a surging outflow. And again, I think that's really what we caught live. And again, that was great work by Phillip, again, there being in the right place at the right time. And again, catching those power flashes live, again, just about 10 minutes ago right here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We're going to check right back in with Phillip here in a second. I want to move the radar, though, around the state. I want to cover the rest of the state because we still have severe to heavy thunderstorms ongoing across a good portion of Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and pick up right here across parts of west central Oklahoma, first of all. And again, you can see severe thunderstorm warning again does continue here until 12:15 tonight. Otherwise, we're just dealing with a lot of heavy thunderstorms really moving in now to the western sides of Blaine County and then even across parts of Kiowa County down here near the Hobart area, also down through Altus. Again, look at all these little white bolts. That's all cloud to ground lightning. These storms are extremely electrically active. And again, even though we only have a severe thunderstorm warning for this specific segment here, anywhere along this line, wind gusts to near 60 miles per hour would definitely be possible. Again, we have a Boeing line segment now, and basically that means some high velocity winds. And this is moving towards the Oklahoma City metro here over about the next hour and a half. Heads up, again, this is tracking right on in to the Oklahoma City metro. So let's check back in with Phillip Mcgee. He's still there around Woodward. Again, we just had those power flashes, maybe a little bit of a spinning eddy move through Woodward. Phillip, what are you seeing up there right now? So So let me just recap real quick. About maybe 15 minutes ago now, Phillip Mcgee was just driving through Woodward, starting to head back to the Oklahoma City Metro, and here live on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we had about 6 power flashes, boom, 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 kind of in succession across parts of eastern Woodward. As we looked at velocities, we're not really too concerned with tornadoes. There really wasn't a tornadic signature there. But again, along the leading edge of really these bow lines or these squall lines, sometimes you can get little spin-ups or little spinning eddies, and we really locked onto kind of a little ball of spin on the velocities on radar that crossed right over 412, that basically was in the same location that Phillip saw these power flashes. So I think we had a little spinning eddy about 15 to 20 minutes ago across parts of Woodward. Parts of Woodward now without power, but again, we saw all 6 power flashes live right here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. But anyway, Phillip, I just kind of wanted to set the stage there for you. Phillip is now still driving through Woodward, again, looking for any kind of damage. Of course, anytime you have a nighttime severe weather event, that's kind of what we've had to deal with all evening. Of course, it's really hard to see what's going on even earlier when we were dealing with real tornado warnings. Of course, after the potential tornadic activity moved through any one location, Phillip Mcgee was driving behind it just to see if we could see any kind of damage. We couldn't tell if there was a tornado on the ground, but again, if you drive through those locations, you're looking for ground verification to see if there was any damage and what type of damage there was. So we've been having to do a lot of this ground verification tonight, again, just because it got so dark so early across Oklahoma. So Phillip, back to you up there in Woodward. Again, what are you seeing up there right now?
In and out of the neighborhood where most of those power flashes were occurring. And the good news is we're not seeing any kind of damage, from maybe a small F0 or anything like that. I would be safe to say that exactly what you were referring to just a little bit ago is just that high winds and that brief spin up, the eddy is what you're referring to it as, and I would definitely concur with that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good, at least, guesstimate. Again, we can't really totally confirm what it was, but I mean, I think that's a fairly good guesstimate as to what it probably was, at least. So that's where we are. So Phillip Mcgee, you're still up there in Woodward. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings still continue now, really across parts of west central Oklahoma. Let's take a look at that activity again one more time. Phillip, we'll get right back to you. But again, Canadian, Kingfisher, Blaine, Caddo, even Washita, and even Custer County, severe thunderstorm warning does continue until 12:15 this early morning now across parts of west central Oklahoma. Let me go and put the radar in movie mode here real quick. And as I do that, again, you can see this area of storms basically moving across parts of west central Oklahoma. It's getting closer to the Oklahoma City Metro. That's going to be the general trend as we go through the overnight period. Again, this squall line or this bow line of storms will be moving towards central Oklahoma. And again, the opportunity for some wind gusts near 70 miles per hour definitely going to be possible right here in the Oklahoma City Metro. You folks that are under the severe thunderstorm warning in that orange box right now, again, 70 mile per hour winds quite likely there. But even on the southern sides of that line, locations like Hobart, down now on the eastern sides of Alta, Snyder, Frederick. Again, you folks may even see some wind gusts near 60 miles per hour, and then even up locations further to the north. Let's pull the radar a little bit further to the north here. Locations like Fairview, even up towards Helena, Alva. Again, some fairly gusty winds, heavy rain quite possible there as well. And of course, really the other main risk we're dealing with this evening, it's extremely deadly lightning. These storms are very electrically active. You're seeing all those little white bolts there. Again, those are all live cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. So again, excuse me, very electrically active storms there across parts of west central Oklahoma. So Phillip, let's go back to you up there in Woodward, and what are you seeing up there right now?
Okay, William, yeah, we're back with you again. We're actually going to go ahead and head back down 270 toward Sealing in that area. But as of right now, OG&E is out and they are restoring power to that section where we've seen those power flashes just a few minutes ago. And just to kind of reiterate what we were just talking about, we didn't see any damage or anything like that. That doesn't mean that there isn't some. We just can't visually see it. And the rain is still coming down pretty heavy, so I don't want to, be judgmental and not say anything didn't happen there. It's just that we can't verify it, and so obviously there was something going on because of the 6 power flashes that we caught live on our streaming video.
Yeah, there was basically some kind of high velocity wind event. I mean, I don't think it was a tornado at all. But again, it was either a little bit of surging straight line wind or maybe a little bit of a spinning eddy there. Again, along that surging straight line wind there on the leading edge of those storms. I think that's probably most likely what it was. But again, that was great work right there. Again, Phillip Mcgee catching those power flashes there live on the eastern sides of Woodward now just about 30 minutes ago. So that's where we are, folks. Again, right now it's approaching just a little after 11:45 out there. Let me take a look at radar here. Again, severe thunderstorm warning does continue there still for west central Oklahoma. Let me pull that up there one more time. And again, that's going to be until 12:15 this evening. And again, overall, this Boeing line of severe storms getting a little bit closer here to central Oklahoma. Of course, we are going to continue to track this as it moves into central Oklahoma. The main risk with this activity will be strong damaging winds and also very frequent cloud to ground lightning as well. So we'll be checking back in with Phillip Mcgee here in just a few minutes, and we'll have another live update here in just about 15 minutes. Keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma.